name's Joanne Pruitt. I'm the Youth Services Consultant at the Wyoming State Library. It's a great place to be at. We're in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Um, and as the Youth Services Consultant, I'm here to support and help and encourage and just be there for all of you wonderful librarians who are on the front lines. One of the things that I'm trying out this year is a summer reading program, and not specific to CSLP, but a summer reading program, general overview, training, but also collaborative session, because hearing back from you guys, you want to talk to each other, you want to figure out what everybody's up to or what you're doing. And so that's what this is for. And hopefully we can continue to do this year, community partnerships that we have that can be accessible throughout the whole state of Wyoming. And also, we do have some guest speakers. So we have Angel Capone Evans, who is waving right now. She is at the Natrona County Library. She's the YSIG co-chair as well as the youth services consultant, and she'll be one of the hosts for one of the breakout rooms. And that is going to be about performers and who she has booked for this summer. There's an extensive list, looks really awesome. And then we also have Carrie Savage, who is another YSIG co-chair and the assistant director at the Washakie County Library. She's in space, but she's graced us with her presence. And Carrie is amazing at crafts and STEAM programming. And so she'll be sharing her breakout session about those items. Holly has graciously shared her story, so I'll just share that with you during her breakout session. And hers is all about alternative prizes that they have. She's from the Park County Library. And Abby is at the Laramie County Library, just down the road from us. And Abby will be sharing her ideas about America 250, some programming, some resources. And we also have Laura Dale, who's at the Sweetwater County Museum, who will help present on resources that she has made available for all of our librarians within the state. Why reinvent the wheel one? I've just done it. So those are our amazing speakers that we'll get to in just a minute. I'll start sharing my screen. So we are the Wyoming State Library. We provide support and funding for summer reading programs, including a statewide membership to the Collaborative Summer Library Program, CSLP. If you haven't received the manual code for this summer, please email me and I will share that code with you so you can access all of the graphics, all of the programs. It's an extensive resource to have, and it's great to have if you would like to use it. I'm also the CSLP representative for Wyoming, and so that's part of my job is I support you guys with that. I create Pinterest boards for it, and if you need help or more access or ideas, somebody to bounce ideas off, please let me know and I can help you. What is summer reading? It's a chance to get new patrons into your doors, kids, families that are otherwise engaged during the school year. So it's just like super busy during the school year with all the activities and the special days and blah, blah, blah. So summers are a great time to get those busy patrons back into your doors or into your doors for the first time. It's also a good chance to assist families with out of school time programming. Foundations of summer reading programs. Typically, summer reading programs are a specific set of programs. It's over a dedicated time period that require additional registration and complete with an end goal, a prize, or some kind of event or multiple events. It's often has an overarching theme, and it could be the same kinds of programs that you use year round, or it's a great chance to try new things. Why summer reading? Summer reading programs help build relationships in community, foster civic partnerships, encourage reading and the use of other library resources, and provide needed out-of-school programming throughout Wyoming. Gentle reminder, you're not in competition with other libraries. We all have different resources. Like every decision you make for your library, your summer reading program needs to meet the needs of your community based on your existing resources or new ones that you can find on your own. CSLP introductions, it's one of those wonderful acronyms that we love to use in the library world. Let me throw another one at you. CSLP, like I said earlier, is Collaborative Summer Library Programming. It's an all-in-one summer reading program, and there's unified themes across our state and America. There are 39 current states in Guam participating in CSLP yearly. So they like pay for the state memberships and then provide it to their libraries within that state. And it's malleable. It's something that you can fine tune to fit your library and your community needs because it's not a one size fits all. So you can make it uniquely you. So the state library provides the membership for the entire state of Wyoming to receive CSLP manual access. So that's the access code I was talking about earlier. You can definitely email me and provide that. I give you the codes. And again, any support you need with that, definitely reach out to me. But you have access to the entire manual that includes digital art, that includes all of the ready to go programming and book lists that are extensive. They do break out the book list by age group. So there are extensive book lists that you can check out there as well, which would be helpful for programming, story times, etc. Other resources that I provide for you guys is the newsletter, the Librarian Lowdown, which I send out every month, and access to the manual, training workshops and presentations, Pinterest boards with additional ideas following the CSLP theme. And everything on the Pinterest boards I've vetted and checked to make sure that you don't have to pay for these resources if it's not coming from me, or that you don't have to like sign up and then you can get this download. Everything I post on our Pinterest page is free, accessible, and it's ready to download. I have created a ton of the pins on there just so it's easy for you guys to access and that you don't have to like pay for it. So we also have a recommended performers and presenters list for all of our Wyoming libraries. Last year, I contacted all of the people on that list and I made sure that one, they were still traveling, and two, if they were still willing to come to Wyoming, and if they were, what like parts of Wyoming? Is it all of Wyoming? But since we're so spread out, is it only central Wyoming, east, whatever? So I tried to note that in that spreadsheet, and I'll share that again in our resources slide at the very end of this presentation. Something new that, that we're going to do to have a Wyoming specific summer reading survey. This is to collect data specifically for Wyoming from all of you librarians, what you're using, how you're using it, what performers you could recommend adding to that list. And I'll present it at the YSIG mini conference, which is in May. And I'll also present it at the WLA state conference, which is in September. But this information, once I collect it, it will be available to you guys on our state website. I can always email it to you if you wanted something specific from it. Just let me know. This is the Google form to access it. Our national CSLP survey, it's very extensive. There are tons of questions on it. It's not library specific or state specific. It's a national survey. And I get it. Nobody wants to take a survey. Like they're exhausting. So I tried to make ours as short and concise as possible, but still able to get all the information I need to get that data and those statistics out that we can use for our libraries, for our state, etc. So I will try to get those out every October, which is around the same time as the national survey from CSLP. But since I didn't start that this year, I'm just asking if you guys could retroactively take it now or in the next couple of weeks for last summer's reading program. So this This survey is for the 2025 summer reading program, which was Color Our World. And it does have maybe like 2 or 3 questions for this summer, but please take that as soon as you can, and that way we can use the info. Okay, there's my shameless plug for taking the survey. I would like to have the survey completed by April 3rd, just so I have enough time to compile by our YSIG mini conference in May. So if you could please, please, please get this done before April 3rd, I would greatly appreciate it. This is definitely a collaborative webinar where I am asking to join in on the conversation. So just a quick 5-minute brainstorm session of how to get started. And I want you guys to talk about why you are having a summer reading program and what are the goals of your SRP. So what impact are you hoping to have in your summer reading program? These are just a couple of ideas, but they're not all of them because you could use your summer reading program to bring new families into the library, or you could use it as a partnership with new community organizations. You can use it to help raise literacy rates in your community because we know there's that summer learning drop off. You could use it to provide a safe space for patrons to gather and socialize, provide space for patrons to explore new interests, provide a needed service for parents and families, and more. And I'll start the timer in just 5 minutes. Just shout out, just share out what impact you want to have with your summer reading program, goals you would like to have.
We do ours to promote reading during the summer months.
I think that that's sort of what our main goal in Casper is to hopefully end that summer slump for kids, but also to remind people that we are a fun place to hang out and we've got cool stuff going on and you should come hang out with us.
I think ours is reaching out to people who don't normally get to see us during the school year. So like teens who have extracurricular activities and all of those things.
I'm trying to get going a program for adults with developmental disabilities and have their own specific summer reading program. We already have a huge one at LCLS, so.
And over the last 5 years, I've noticed that our summer reading program has definitely increased the community participation at the library in different various programs that we may not have normally drawn into the library. I know in the older kids, we've gone from 8 regulars to having 50 registered with about 40 regulars.
Anybody else have ideas or goals for your SRP? If you can't think of one for this summer, are there specific targets that you've reached in your previous summer reading programs that you're like, I didn't think that this one program was going to be such a huge success, but it came back with so much great feedback that we're doing it again? Or this performer was awesome, so we're going to use them again.
We had a foam party last year and the families really enjoyed it. We had it at one of the public parks and we're bringing the same person back this year.
Did you do it on the grass or on the pavement?
On the grass.
Did the grass die?
Biodegradable foam. So, and the person that provided the foam party sent all the materials we needed to go to the city council meeting with so they could approve it.
It does kill our grass a little bit, but that's more from people stomping on the grass. I think our goal this year that we've been given is to raise signups and completions by a certain percentage. Other than that, I've heard some feedback that people enjoy our weekly small scale clubs that we do. We do a chess club and they literally just sit there and play chess. Apparently people like some of the really low key things too, so.
More of that passive programming.
Once a week, it's going to happen. All your friends are there.
I have a question, just because I've been looking at numbers recently, and always every summer people are super gung-ho at the beginning, and then the numbers at the end are kind of sad. How do you keep the momentum going? Because we go June 1st through August 31st. So I know some people have a shorter summer reading. And so maybe that's the answer.
We do ours for the month of June only. Sometimes if there's still a lot of interest, we'll throw together real fast the next chapter.
We do June 1st through August 15th. And it does definitely slack off in August, but I think it's pretty strong through July.
I feel like we start slacking right after the 4th of July.
Wow.
Like, people are super excited. And these are just like numbers from our performers, but also from like, we have so many people complete because we have like 3 levels. So people get prizes for level 1, level 2, level 3, and each prize level is 25 days of reading, whether that takes them all summer to just get 25 days or if it's 25 days in a row. So, we have thousands of people sign up, and then we have probably like 60-70% finish level 1, and you get like 40% finish level 2, and then like 20%, 10% do level 3. And then that also correlates with like performer numbers where we've got tons in the beginning, and then even popular performers, if they're at the end, their numbers are sad.
Perfect, thank you. So I would like to introduce our first community partnership. This is Laura Dale, and she's the public engagement coordinator at the Sweetwater County Historical Museum. She has a wealth of knowledge and a ton of resources that she's willing to share with us for our CSLP theme this year, which is called Unearth a Story. And it's dinosaurs, paleontology, archaeology, ancestry, and just the entire theme of dinosaurs.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. As Joanne said, I'm the public engagement coordinator for the Sweetwater County Historical Museum. In my position, I seek to engage people of all ages and backgrounds in museum outreach and education. A lot of my time is spent working with our school districts on programs and curriculum for youth, especially elementary aged. But I also partner with our other youth-focused organizations in Sweetwater County, like Girl Scouts and the Boys and Girls Club. Today I'm here to share how local museums may be a good resource for you as you start planning the Unearth a Story programming this summer. From materials that museums can loan you to lessons I've made that you can adapt to fit your needs, including a teen and tween program that blends science and art that I'm really excited about. One of the first resources when I was talking with Joanne that came to mind is our education kits. So a lot of museums have these. This is not unique to Wyoming museums or the Sweetwater Museum at all. They're curated boxes with educational materials and activities aligned with any certain subject or topic. So here at the Sweetwater Museum, I do have a dinosaur and fossils kit. It contains a mix of real and replica fossils, and pictured is our kit. It includes a real piece of dinosaur bone that was found here in Sweetwater County. We have multiple kits that each have dinosaur bones in them, which is really cool. Ancient crocodile scales, and a replica of a T-Rex tooth, among many other cool things. So these are all materials that kids can get a hands-on experience with. They're all touchable. Pass them around. They can be touched. I mean, there's fossils that have been dug up in our county, in our state, things like that. So they're directly tied to our state's history and paleontology, which is really exciting. Generally, these are marketed towards our teachers in the district and checked out for 1 to 2 weeks for school districts to use in their classrooms. And because of that, I've also written activity books that go with each of them that have science and reading standards attached to them and all the material that a teacher would need. So that stuff is kind of what I'm going to be talking about today that you can adapt in the library. Just lots of really fun activities. It's a great opportunity. These would be a great resource for librarians to check out and keep at the library over the summer for 1 to 2 weeks at a time, whenever you have like something really specific going on. So depending on the museum that's closest to you, they might have an educator or a staff member willing to come out and like do a presentation, help you handle these materials, talk about what they all are. I also have listed on the right resources at museums around the state. I tried to get a good selection just on some like surface level research, but I would definitely consider reaching out to your local museums on if they have archaeology or paleontology resources that either they can bring out to a program with you, partner with you on, or loan you for a week or two, whatever the case may be. I would say for dinosaurs, your best bets are going to be the Tate Geologic Museum in Casper. It might be cool to do a tour with your library group, like walk over to the museum. Things at the State Museum, they have all kinds of great stuff. They do have a fossil kit, I believe. The Wyoming Dinosaur Center does digs all summer. That might be something to partner with in Thermopolis or in Washakie County in general. Like, what do we want? You know, how can we partner and work together and like divide and conquer? I know that in my experience, museums are always looking for community partners. So I would encourage you to reach out to them. All right, so now I'm excited to share some of the programming that Joanne mentioned I've created. These are not yet ready because I haven't re-downloaded them in a shareable file, but they will be. And I think we talked about putting them on the Pinterest boards. So this is a program I built called Build a Dinosaur. I drew 7 dinosaurs, and each of them have 4 pieces. So they all have a head, a torso, a tail, and legs of some sort. And then
shameless plug. She drew these. It's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, so I drew them, and I also specifically picked out dinosaurs that were in Wyoming at some point during the age of dinosaurs. Like, they are all local. You can find fossils of all of the species that I used. And I also wanted to pick out ones that have really unique adaptations, like the Triceratops, the frill on their head, the feathers that many raptors have that we now know they have, the spine on a Stegosaurus. All of those kinds of things I wanted to incorporate so that the intention of this program is to talk about adaptations of dinosaurs, what kinds of things they need. Like, if this dinosaur that I've made here at the bottom has a club tail and a frill on its head, like, what does that tell you? Is it a defensive animal? Is it something that can run really fast? Probably not. Those are both very heavy things. Probably needs to defend itself against predators. And so it opens up a lot of room for conversation and a lot of creativity. This program is written for generally like 3rd to 5th grade, but I think it could easily be aged up or down depending on how much time you have and what age groups you're working with. Each of the body parts can be cut out separately. I put magnets on the back of mine so that they can stick them on whiteboards in their classrooms, but each kid could get their own copy, make whatever they want. I do think that I want to make some black and white copies as well, so kids can color them in themselves if they wanted to. And then what I was thinking for libraries where there is more time, like, I was thinking you could do like a collage. You could cut out trees and flowers from magazines and make an environment for this dinosaur, and then you have to tell a story of like how do they live, what do they eat, do they eat plants, do they eat other dinosaurs. You know, you're going to talk through all of those skeletal adaptations that you can see from a dinosaur fossil, and that's all in the program that I wrote up. Like, it has that information. And so it gives them like this really fun creativity space. I did a program at the Dinosaur National Monument down in Vernal, Utah, that has all of the root words of dinosaur names. And so then the kid has to name their dinosaur after they draw it. So there's so many different ways you can take this and build upon it. And so I am happy to provide these dinosaur cutouts that I've made, and you can run with it in whatever way works for you. This one I included because it is like a fun program, but it's really classroom based. So I don't know how well it'll fit in with the library, but you guys are all very, very creative. And so this is a sorting game where they're going to graph dinosaurs. So I got a pack of 100 or 200 dinosaurs for like $10 on Amazon. Each group would get a handful of dinosaurs and graph it onto here, and then talk about, oh, I had this many pterodactyls. If I add the pterodactyls and the triceratops, I have this many dinosaurs. Science and math standard-based programming for classrooms. But again, I think there's a lot of ways that you can make this more exciting and fun. And then my last one, which is an exciting one, a lesson inspired by some online posts that circulate every so often in archaeology and paleontology circles. What if modern animals were drawn using paleoart techniques? So these are historic techniques where artists drew dinosaur or prehistoric animals in general way back in the 1800s. It doesn't necessarily reflect modern paleo art anymore, but it is a fun jumping off point for a really creative and unique lesson for teens and tweens. So in the 19th and 20th century, prehistoric animals didn't have a lot of muscle mass. They didn't have fur or feathers most often because those aren't preserved in the fossil record. The T-Rex was often drawn with its tail dragging on the ground until the 1990s, honestly. It was very, very recently that scientists were like, oh, their hips are not built to do that. They actually stood straight. Their tail was parallel to the ground. So it's a really cool way to blend science and art and talk about a field of art that people don't really know about, that, you know, people do go into. There is a market for people to be paleo artists. And so it's really, really interesting to me.
What was the title of that one book that is all about art?
Okay, it's The Fossil Keeper's Treasure, and it's all about kind of like fossils and stuff. And yeah, I will send the link out again, Joanne. But yeah, that's by someone who actually works in Colorado at a museum and does paleo art. Okay, so this is the actual program that I've developed. I have not tested this yet because there are not a lot of teens and tweens that come to the museum. They are not interested in us because we don't have anything fun for them right now. I'm trying to change that. I'm only 7 months into this position, so soon it will be better. But I am testing this with our Boys and Girls Club next month. And so I would be happy to send out a report after the fact of what things I may have gotten wrong and what things I might suggest you change if you want to bring it into your library. But essentially, all the kids get a picture of a skeleton, make observations about it, like, does it have sharp teeth? Does it have a long tail? And ask questions about it. Does it look like anything we recognize? Is this an animal that we think runs fast? Just like very inquisitive questions. Like, let the kids lead that discussion and really think about what need in order to survive and thrive in their environment. This is actually how paleontologists and paleo artists start the process of going from a fossil they dug out of the ground to a picture in a museum in a textbook by comparing two animals that they know to the prehistoric ones. They can determine all kinds of things. They look at the physiology, morphology, etc. of the skeleton. And then the activity is youth get to do this themselves. So they have this skeleton, and then they're going to add like a general outline of the body. Then they're going to add some muscles to the animal. Then they can decide, does this animal have fur? Does this animal have scales or feathers or none of the above? Does it have something else that's entirely new that we've never thought of? You know, they can really be so creative in this aspect. And then they can go even more in depth. Does it have spots? So this is a saber-toothed cat from La Brea Tar Pits. And this is an example of their paleo art program as well. They have a lesson about it. So I did use a lot of that for informing this one. Does it have stripes? A saber-toothed cat is usually depicted with stripes. Why do we think that? Why do we know that? So it just offers kids a really unique way to think about science and art and how they come together and how they can be creative. Again, similar to the Build a Dinosaur, they can then draw the environment. They can do whatever they want. This would be a really good, like, long, involved art program. And it aligns with a lot of the art and science state standards. And you can also look at modern animals. Like, you can look at a bison skeleton and they have their bones go in the hump of their back. Why do they do that? Like, all of these are questions that will help them guide how they're going to draw this animal. As I said, I have not piloted it just yet, but I will do it before the summer, and so I can let you guys know how it goes after that. Does anyone have any questions? Well, yeah, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is there at the bottom. If you have any questions, if you want any of the materials that maybe doesn't get shared, I don't know. Or if you want to brainstorm, I love a good brainstorm session. If you just are like, I want to do this thing, how do I do it? I have a lot of experience in dinosaur and archaeology stuff. So I would be happy to brainstorm with you.
She's a great brainstormer. Just
It's one of my favorite things.
yes, it's awesome. So yes, please feel free to reach out to Laura. She is super friendly. She's very kind and very open to programming. She has a wealth of knowledge behind what she does, and she would be a really great resource to have for this summer and beyond. So thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you.
This right here is Jeremy Thornbrough. Did I pronounce that right, Laura? Okay. Laura used to work with Jeremy at the State Museum. So he is currently in Cheyenne at the Wyoming State Museum. He's the curator of education, and he has so much energy. It's amazing. He does virtual field trips, and he's done thousands of them. I think he said something like 2,000 virtual field trips about every year. And I spoke with him a couple weeks ago to try and see what we could do for libraries. And he said that his virtual field trips are typically 60 minutes, which is a full hour. And I said that's way too long for library programming. So he was willing to work with us, work with libraries, and shorten his programming to like 20 minutes and open up a specific library registration page. So currently he's like super booked out. He's incredibly busy. It's wild, but good. And he's very dynamic. His different programs, he'll show you, and you can kind of see it in this image. Because he's at the Wyoming State Museum, he does have access to fossils and various physical tools that he can show and explain through a virtual field trip. So if this is something your library would be interested in, please reach out to me or to Jeremy, and that way we can figure out, are there specific days that work best for like general libraries, so that way he can block that time off and just open, like, let's say Tuesdays from 4 to 5. This is our library block that we have blocked off for the summer, and people in libraries can register for these virtual field trips. So feel free to reach out to me for that. The different programs he offers or virtual field trips are for ages 0 to kindergarten. He has a program called What Fossils Tell Us. And he can also age that up to the age of 6 to 12. And then ages 13 to 18, it's people of the Ice Age. So he goes over their lifestyle, what they went through, and the history of that. So there are also program plan activities that are already on his website, which is this QR code down here. There's one that's super fun. Can you outrun a dinosaur? And that's 15 minutes. I didn't put the picture, but there is a picture on the Wyoming State Museum site of him like running like this, like a dinosaur with like all these kids behind him. It's great. These ones are grab and go, which means they're already available on the Wyoming State Museum website. You don't need him to recreate this. He provides all of the program plans, materials, handouts, etc. You just download it and then you can do it yourself. Another program plan he has are What Fossils Tell Us about what dinosaurs ate, and that's 20 minutes. Another one is What Fossils Tell Us About Dinosaur Adaptations, and that's 15 minutes. So all of those 3 program plans are on this QR code. He was very specific, and Laura was right. She told me this too. Do not email him. He will not respond. He does not check his email because he's constantly doing these virtual field trips. So he doesn't have like a normal desk job where he's in an office. He's doing these field trips. So he just said, don't email him, call and text him. Texting is preferable because he can quickly shoot a text back to you if you have any questions. If you have an interest in this, if this is something that your library would like to do, please reach out to me so that way I can get it set up with him and we can run with it. So that's another community partner that we want to make available for everyone. We just have to figure out if there's enough interest in it to be able to provide it to the state. So these are the 4 different breakout sessions. So we have performers with Angel, alternative prizes with me. So you're stuck with me again. Theme and crafts with Carrie, and then America 250 with Abby. Of the alternative prizes, this was written by Holly Baker, who's in Cody, Wyoming. She unfortunately is sick, so she's here with us, but she's not participating because I believe she may have lost her voice. So I will recap as best as I can. In Cody, Wyoming, about 9 years ago, they switched their prize incentive program from like huge prizes, which kind of sounds amazing, from like tablets, bicycles, Kindles, scooters, doll houses with working lights, ginormous Lego sets. I mean, just huge contribution and support from their community with these prizes. And she changed it to raffle tickets that kids would earn, and they could put their raffle ticket into one of 2 boxes: a kid with a medical need in their community, and the other box was for a community project. And so each ticket represented $1, and then they would donate that money. They would count up all the tickets, and they would donate the amount of tickets slash money to that kid with a medical need, and then to the community project. So Holly was a bit nervous about doing the shift because most kids would rather just have things than like try to, I guess they want the tangible, right? Like they want something. I got my 10 hours in, I want my prize. Like give me the pencil or give me the whatever the prize is. But Holly was able to introduce the idea. She starts with the kindergartners, and she hosts all the kindergarten classes. I believe she said in May. And then she introduces this program to kindergartners. So now it's become a part of like their community and how they approach it. The kids have been really awesome, and they've even extended this alternative prizes to the entire library. So it's not just the kids that are participating in it, it's the teens, the tweens, and the adults, and they get to put their own raffle tickets in each box as well. Feel free to email Holly. She's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this. She's been doing this for the last 9 years. It's been extremely well accepted in her community. Tons of people have gotten on board. They really support this idea, and it's called the Kindness Project. And yeah, so if you have questions, please feel free to contact Holly Baker, and she is the librarian in Cody, Wyoming. Abby, would you mind going next?
Hi, everybody. I'm Abby. We at the Laramie County Library, as Aranda will know, have been tasked with doing some stuff for the America 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And at first, we were kind of like, yeah, that sounds really boring for kids. But then the more we dug into it, the more we were like, you know what? There's a lot of good stuff that you can do, that you can make it relevant to kids and make it fun and exciting. So in Cheyenne, we are using a wide-ranging theme on this, which could even go along with Unearth a Story. As you can see, the little blue dinosaur down there is actually from the CSLP, so they know that it's happening. And I think there's even a chapter in the manual that's all about how to tie the 2 together. We took it pretty wide. Our directive is that we can talk about history, family history, library history, local history, state, national, historical figures, Constitution, First Amendment, intellectual freedom, storytelling, oral history, civic engagement, nature and natural history, cultures, customs, traditions, and local industry, which is basically like anything could be brought back to support the America 250 theme. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the bigger things that we're planning to do here. So we have currently running a community reads program, a one book, one Laramie County program, and the book is called The Bear by Andrew Krivik. So it is a book for adults, and I haven't read it yet because I only read kids' books. But the idea is that everybody in the county is invited to read it, and we bought, I think, 500 copies of it for people to take and bring back. And then the author is going to be visiting, I believe, in May. We are also doing a Beanstack bingo challenge, which I think is on the next slide if you wanted to pop over it real quick. It's kind of small, but they can read for various amounts of minutes, books that take place in different centuries, and then it has like attend an event at the library or in the community, visit a museum, and then just some other book genres for them to read. And in the Beanstack, they are linked back to reading lists of some books that could be read for that, but it's also just honor system. So whatever they think goes for that, they can read. And then I'll just tell you some of the kid-focused, youth-focused programs that we're going to do. So we'll probably do a themed teen book club. We did a time capsules program for kids, and we're going to do one for teens, or maybe that already happened. There's going to be an American Girl Tea Party, which I'm stoked about. It's this weekend. And then we're going to do a civic themed story time. Like we do like themes every week, so we're going to do that as one of our weekly themes in the summer. But we did decide to call it Happy Birthday America to make it more exciting. For our Spanish story time, we're going to do a session in March where we're going to talk about family history, and we're going to try to get some elders in the community to come in and tell some stories from when they were young, or migration stories. Not exactly sure how that's going to go. We're going to do an intellectual freedom blind date with a book display for kids, a National Treasure movie and escape room, a themed scavenger hunt, and dinosaurs in Wyoming are what we've got planned for. And we're also doing this from now until the summer, so it'll overlap with summer reading, but this is not just summer. But yeah, I wanted to open up the floor to discussion if anyone wants to talk about anything that they're doing to celebrate America 250.
I have also created or started compiling a Google Doc of America 250 links and resources, and I've split that up by Wyoming specific resources and national resources. And I will share the link that's on our last slide. And anybody that has access to that link can edit it. So I was trying to go off of the same idea of our Wyoming performers list, that if you have the link, you have access to edit it and add what you would like.
So do you want us to put anything that we're doing on that document? Okay.
Yeah. Share.
Okay.
We're all about sharing.
It's true. And if any of those sound like something that you would want to do, I'd be happy to send over our event plan to you as soon as I plan it ourselves. So anybody doing anything exciting at their library for this this summer or spring?
We're gonna have a big birthday party and have it like a carnival. But I'm the summer reading program coordinator here in Torrington with Goshen County Library. And so when I saw that you guys had, breakout session for America 250, I'm like, yes, because I need ideas. But one of the things we're going to do for our kickoff is have a big birthday party with a bounce house and all kinds of, stuff like that as a kickoff. So I'm looking forward to looking at the resources you have, because why reinvent the wheel if I don't have to?
Joanne, you're muted.
Good gracious. I just said the most brilliant things and you guys didn't hear it. So so here are the resources. The summer reading and America 250 links are on this QR code, but I will also share the URL in the chat so you guys can just click on it and access it. It is a Google sheet. Again, I have the two different tabs at the bottom where one is summer reading resources and then it's specific to Wyoming versus national reading links. And then the second tab of the sheet is the America 250 links, again, split between Wyoming and national. So please feel free to share, add yours.
We do, when we do summer reading, the reading part goes from June 1st to August 31st. Generally, our performers don't start right away. The first week, we try to give ourselves a little buffer between school and summer to get everybody who wants to come in and sign up. They don't have to physically sign up, but they can. Sean Gaskell, he's new to us. Beth said they've had him in Teton County. He just happened to be going from Montana to Colorado and contacted us to say, hey, you want a performance? So we are having him for one day in June. Now, generally, the way we get a grant, there at the bottom, it says that we get our grant from the Natrona County Joint Powers Board. So we are lucky in that we have a pretty big budget for summer. So we have performers, generally we try to get them to be here for an entire week. And we kind of put them through the ringer with 3 performances a day. If they are here 5 days, generally Monday and Friday, they do 3 programs at the library, a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, and a 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In the middle days, we have them do a program at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then we take them to our some of our summer camps. So we'll take them one day to the YMCA camp, one day to the rec center camp, and one day to the Boys and Girls Club to try to make sure that we reach all of the kids who whose parents can't bring them to the library. We've tried to do evening programs, and that just hasn't worked for us. So we just do daytime programs. So when they're there for the whole week, that's how their schedule is. We do have some people. Aaron Fowler is also new to us this summer, and he's going to be just there 2 days. And then Musical Robot are some friends of ours from Northern California who come and who do shows for us, and they usually only stay 3 days. So this year we've got 2 different performers in 1 week. And I noticed on that summer reading performer list that these guys weren't all on there. So I can send Joanne, I can send you their information and you can add it, or I can add it, or whatever. Musical Robot. Oh, Drum Safari. I don't know if you guys have had them. They're a little family. They are adorable. And they bring their daughters, who used to be little, but now they're like teens, young teens. And they bring all these different kinds of drums and they teach you about rhythm and drums, and they are fabulous. Andy Mason has been coming to us for years. His wife is from Lander, and even though they live in France now, the south of France, they still come home every summer for the 4th of July, because apparently Lander is the place to be in the summer. So he always stops by here and does some shows for us around the 4th of July. Charlie Williams used to work here at the Natrona County Library like 20 years ago, but he's the noise guy. He's really good with sound effects. There we go. Sound effects with his mouth. So he makes a lot. He's fun. He hasn't been here for a few years, but he's coming back this summer. Pop and Go Puppets. Jason used to be part of Musical Robot, and then he started his own puppet company, and so he comes here now. Dr. Noise is Corey Cullinan. He is insanity, and I love him so much. It is music, but it is very noise, and it can be overwhelming, but it's so much fun. He has this very expensive equipment that he lets the kids come up and pound on, and it's such a fun show for the kids. Byron Gray is local. I have never seen him perform. This will be his first time doing stuff for us. His name is Daniel Quintana, but his stage name is Byron Gray, and he does magic. Megan Casey, I'm sure y'all know from Rocky Mountain Puppets. She's fabulous. used to be out of Colorado, and then she moved to Nashville, I believe. But she still comes back and does all sorts of things. And then we're finishing with Toby Kidd, who is a storyteller. He also, every once in a while, if he comes to Casper during Natrona County Fair Week, then he does, like, he's a clown too, so he'll do clowning at the fair and balloon animals and stuff at the same time. But those are who we have. It's a lot of people, and we are packed from beginning to end this year. We don't usually have that many people, but it just worked out that way. And if you have any questions or you want to share what you guys do.
Yes, Angel Michelle, she's unmuted. She had a question.
All right.
Yes, this is Michelle. We don't have a big budget, and so I'm looking at these going, wow, I wonder if anybody that has a bigger budget, if we could share. Could we share some performers? We don't even have performers. We have lecturers like for the theme that week for summer reading, but when I see you guys have performers, I'm like, oh wow, they really have performers. And I'm wondering if that's like something that these people might be shareable. I mean, I know you're in Casper, we're down in Torrington, it's only 2 hours. But if anybody has the capability to share, we don't have a budget like this. I'm looking at this going, oh wow, there's no way.
They have all evening open when they're here with us. But
I have seen previously on the Google sheet with the performers list that there was a section, I believe it's still there, that says willing to share or like multi-library discount. And so some of the performers are willing to do that if you book them ahead of time. Like Angel said, they're gonna be here in Wyoming, so are they willing to just drive the extra 2 hours or whatever?
yeah, I guess all you can do is ask. I don't know. That's a good question. We've never talked about it before.
I know Mr. Neal will do a multi-library discount, as will the Noise Guy and Ann Lincoln, because we've used them in the past and had discounts partnering with Thermop and other libraries.
Do you have any suggestions of people that you have used that you'd recommend?
All right. I will move on to Crafts and Steam with Miss Carrie.
So I wanted to share with all of you, and I do have my contact information, I think, on the previous slide, but I have a separate link. So that is a Padlet QR code there. And if you click on that, you will download a PDF that has all the printables that go along with my presentation here. And it also has my contact information on that. So thank you for going back. We can go forward. So my STEAM project that I wanted to share with you is Dino Lights, which is a twist on the paper circuits. So this is what you're looking at there is a 4x4 stretch canvas that I quickly drew out very badly, a dinosaur breaking out of a brick wall, and put some lights in. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. Next slide, please. So my projects generally take between 60 and 90 minutes. The adaptations for younger kids will take less time, obviously, than the acrylics on canvas. The target age group for this craft is presented here is middle school, if they've had experience with paper circuits before, through high school. So a lot of the materials you need for this should be in your office or in your makerspace. And again, if you pick up the resource, I just cut and paste all the same thing. So what we do, go ahead, next slide, is when you print the cards, project specific materials. It is so much less messy and quicker to use the acrylic paint pens for something like this. To use the actual paints will really lengthen the time of your project, and I'm trying to keep it close to an hour as I can. The stretch canvas that I used, if you look at that compared to the pens, it's a 4x4 square. It does take a little bit of dexterity to wire the paper circuit for that if you already have it on the back of the canvas. When you buy your LED bulbs, you can get them in bunches of 500 or 100, and using the gumdrop bulbs, they're the biggest ones to work with on the front side of your paper circuit, and they look, in my opinion, the best for what we're doing. That's what was pictured in my dinosaur. Copper tape is available with or without adhesive, and you want to make sure you get it with the adhesive. It will conduct on both sides of the tape once you peel the paper backing off. And of course, having a good circuit diagram really quickens the finished product from your students. Next slide. So I sketched out the little dinosaur on the right, and if you use your pencil real lightly, the acrylic paint pens will cover it. And then I just started with a red paint pen, and I went back and forth, and then I filled in some cream, and then I filled some orange. I went back to red, and I used a little white to get the brick color. And I didn't put the lines in on the bricks until after I did the dinosaur. So you want to paint in the direction of your brick for the little bricks that are flying from the dinosaur breaking through the wall. And when I did do the lines after, I just used a piece of the cardstock that I cut for the project to use a straight edge to get the horizontal and vertical lines there. Before I finished everything, I took a thumbtack and I poked 2 holes for where each eye is, about 2 millimeters apart, which is just a little bit wider than where the diodes are placed on your gumdrop light. And you're less likely to have shorts in your paper circuit if each diode goes in their own hole instead of both of them trying to go through one. So next slide. Then another part of the printout on the cardstock is this paper circuit, which has the key right underneath it. So while the paint is drying, you have the kids cut out the paper circuit square, which the red dotted line, I ended up cropping it off to get all this information on the slide, but it does go all the way around. So they just cut on that red dotted line, fold the paper on the black dotted line, and anywhere there's a yellow line, they put the copper tape. Then you put the cardstock on the back of your canvas, and you punch the holes through the cardstock as well. And then you can use double-sided tape to adhere the bottom right corner to the back of the canvas. And you just tuck a little battery in there, and once everything's all taped down, you can get it to work. I've done this before for summer reading with Oceans of Possibilities. We did the anglerfish that had one little light dangling on his little lure. And the kids that have done paper circuits, a lot of them do them 3rd or 4th grade in school. They really like doing the parallel circuits or the series circuits. There's just all kinds of adaptations that you can do using this. And the kids love having the paint part for the older kids that have grown up doing paper circuits in schools. So, questions? Resources. And if you print the cardstock as it is, the paper circuit for the back side of the paper lines exactly for where the dino's eyes are. So there's no guesswork. where the kids are putting their light bulbs.
I will also include the presentation, the Canvas presentation, as a link that you guys can access. So that way you'll have all of these links and QR codes available to you as well. And that'll be posted on the Wyoming State Library YouTube page. Here are just some conversation starters. So, what is one specific idea from your breakout session that you can see working at your library this summer?
I have something I want to implement from the museum representative. I can't wait to build a dinosaur. And for my older kiddos, I want to add on to it, Laura, by giving them the materials you have printed and then having recyclable materials so they could do their 3D model. So thank you for sharing that activity with us.
That's exciting, and I would love to see what comes out of it. I'd love to see pictures.
I heard Holly talk about her alternative prize structure a few years ago at WLA, and I still really want to try something like that here. Except, I don't know, maybe in the future we might be able to do a read for a cause kindness project kind of a thing, where after they finish their main summer reading at 25 days, they might be able to do something that's more like that. I think it's such a good idea. I still love it.
Yes, and Elizabeth, her mic isn't working, so I'll just read it from the chat. She also said that, I love the kindness project. I'm going to bring up this idea for next year's team. And Holly wrote that she loved finding out there are resources available for America 250 theme. I thought we were alone. It's kind of tough, but Abby's got it, right, Abby? It's all you.
We're doing a bunch of stuff. We'll see if
Yeah.
anybody likes it.
America's 250th birthday. Our logo is we want it to be a bison with books on its back. So we've kind of had, AI help us with that, and with like a 250th and a banner. And it's going to be pretty cute, but we had also thought about, we found a really cool bison online that we were going to make into a flat Stanley, so to speak, and then have them take their flat Stanley or their flat Bart or whatever, Bart the Bison or whatever they name it, and take it around to the different places in Goshen County or even in Wyoming, and take a picture and put it on our library page on Facebook, and hashtag Goshen County Summer Library Program. So we had thought about doing that kind of like the flat Stanley, except we're going to make it into a bison with America's 250th. So that's an idea that we had that we thought might be kind of fun for the kids.
I love that idea. That's so cool. And just to see, so if you follow the hashtag, you can see everywhere your flat bison.
Yeah.
Holly is asking, could Michelle share the bison graphic?
Not right now because it's not done. But I can add that when we come up with the final thing. I can definitely do that.
Sounds great. And Michelle, if you need help with that, I can definitely help you out creating the graphics with it.
I will be reaching out to you.
Sounds good. Okay. What was the most creative solution you heard for a common summer reading hurdle?
I think a solution for me is just that there are resources out there. And like I said before, we don't have to try to recreate the wheel, but I did not know that there were resources. And so our director was like, you need to attend this webinar. And so that's really great to know that there are resources, so that better ideas, better collaboration, that's really helpful. Thank you.
I was just say, I love that you brought in, somebody from the library, not the library, from the museum, because I always think that we should do more collaborations, but it's just been really hard. And so this, just a few weeks ago, I reached out for the first time to the Tate Museum here in Casper at the Casper College, and they were super excited to do some programs with us. And it's kind of dumb that I've never thought to reach out to our museums or our other resources. Like they said they were hoping, they were looking for more community engagement, and I bet that I always want to say libraries, museums in other towns probably are feeling the same way. So um I stepped out of my comfort zone and talked to somebody on the phone, which I don't like to do. Um and
Terrifying.
it's really exciting. So I think that we should all reach out.
Yeah, somebody from the Washakie County Museum, and any age group, they'll tailor the program they have for their dinosaurs. And we also have, leaving the dinosaur theme, just going with archaeology. We've reached out to the Legend Rock State Park, and they're going to send over representatives to do paleontology. And our kiddos will get to make their own pictographs in clay.
That's so cool. Laura wrote in the chat, I totally forgot about college museum resources. They would be another great group to contact. Angel, just going off of your comment, that I wouldn't think of that either, of like outside resources aside from our normal library contacts and lists. But the CSLP theme totally opens that door for dinosaurs and paleontology and archaeology, because Wyoming is so rich in that history. And so I think that's definitely made that connection for me. So I could be like, oh, well, yeah, we've got people for that. Let's use them.
Albany County also uses our state rangers. They volunteer their time. So if you're worried about like money, I have a state ranger who comes in once a month and does things like that. So I would definitely reach out to them.
Oh, that's such a great idea. I didn't even think of that.
And if you wanted to unearth a different kind of a story, they often have animals they can bring. So if you wanted to unearth a weasel,
I would also say, since part of it is like your own history and genealogy and things like that, museums have so many resources for that. And I know that libraries have some, but here in Sweetwater County, all of the like county genealogy resources are at our library. And so I suspect that that's similar across the state. And everyone that I've worked at in state parks with Game and Fish, with museums all around, like a lot of the museums are very, very small staffed. And so whenever they can partner, they jump at the opportunity, I would say.
Michelle wrote, Wyoming Fish and Game and Historical Society have been great resources for us, and we will reach out to Fort Laramie too. Those are the QR codes for the different resources. I did put the 2 links for the Director of Children's Performers for Wyoming Libraries, as well as the Summer Reading in America 250 links, really hoping to be able to utilize to help our libraries is the SRP survey. So please, please, please try to complete that by April 3rd. And if you have questions on that, let me know. Please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to any of our speakers, and that's what I'm here for, is to help brainstorm, help support, create for youth services librarians. So please feel free to reach out to me. I wanted to thank all the guest speakers and all of you that have shown up today and joined in this discussion. I really hope, and it sounds like you all have gleaned something from this. If anything, you've got a ton of resources now. So enjoy your summer reading, planning, and reach out if you need anything. Thank you, everybody.